Welcome to Ashbury TV Political Update. My name is Clinton Offrom. Today we will be looking at clampdown on ENDSARS protesters by federal government. I'm not alone in the studio, but before I get to introduce my guests, we'll take a quick break. When we return back, I shall introduce my guests.
Do not forget to follow us on all our social media platforms and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Turn on the notification button to get notified on our videos. Thank you.
Okay, welcome back. It's still your favorite political program. On today, we'll be discussing on the clampdown by federal government on ENDSARS protesters. I have a guest on the studio, Barrister Kitinja Ikoku, who is a legal practitioner and also a public analyst. Welcome, Barrister Kitinja.
Welcome, Clinton.
Okay, moving ahead, there is an ex parte order by federal government to freeze the accounts of 20 individuals associated with ENDSARS. How do you react to that?
I want to say that is an unfortunate situation in our history. It is unfortunate that President Buhari and the APC are dragging us to this level in our attainment, in our democratic exercise. It is unfortunate that a party like the APC, who encouraged people to protest against the former government of President Goodluck Jonathan, President Buhari and Chief Tinubu and Oshomole, who actively led protests against President Goodluck Jonathan, are now seen, taking actions that seek to undermine right of citizens to protest and demonstrate peacefully. It is quite unfortunate. Nobody expected that we'll be talking about this in a time of the promised purported change by the APC. It is most unfortunate more when you remember that the Vice President is a senior advocate of Nigeria, former Attorney General, and a professor of law. And you see that he has not had any strong opinion about this. So this brings us to the lowest in our democratic exercise, because what is happening now is that we're setting a dangerous precedent. What is happening is today President Buhari is president, today APC is in government. We are setting the tone for any administration who comes in to begin to look for all manner of ways to calm down on people who demonstrate peacefully. I don't know if you understand, if you can remember, that the ENDSARS protest was peaceful. It was adjudged peaceful. The people, the young men organized themselves in such a way that even after the protest, they clean up the surroundings and the environment. They protected themselves. They held themselves within limits. They didn't attack any institution or any security agency. And if at all there is any argument that there were hoodlums that participated, Clinton, you will remember that the first incidences of hoodlums participating against or during the entire ENDSARS protest was in Abuja, the president's seat of power, in the 3-arm zone, where there were videos of hoodlums being carried in buses attacking the ENDSARS protesters. Nobody has ever talked about that. The Inspector General of Police have not issued any warrant to arrest those hoodlums. Remember, those hoodlums were seen on SUV jeeps by government officials and their vestiges. But now you see at the receiving end, It is the ENDSARS protesters that have been investigated. Nobody has talked about the hoodlums that openly paraded themselves in the streets of Abuja, unhindered. There was no arrest. There was no attempt to stop them. In fact, they killed some ENDSARS protesters. ENDSARS protesters did not kill any of the hoodlums. From the north, they were speaking Hausa with clubs. And they said they are attacking those who are protesting against their own brother. They said they were sent from Kaduna and Kano State. The videos are there. They were everywhere. No security agency is investigating them. But they are talking about the peaceful protesters. Those who came out with their face. They didn't hide their face. They organized a protest that was peaceful. It was when the state government in Lagos State said, okay, it's okay, leave the place. There is curfew. And they didn't leave. And something happened. When the thing happened, the peaceful protesters now went home. The chaos and the crisis that followed were as a result of the federal government and the state government and the security agencies not being in the street to stop any of those. Okay, if we use the military to stop, to attack the guys at the Lekki toll gate and forcefully remove them there because we felt we have had enough, why didn't we see the army in the malls that were being looted in Lagos? Why did the army not intervene to save the malls from being looted? Why did the army not intervene when Ibosere High Court was being attacked and looted? If the army can come out against the peaceful protesters, they were just pinned down. They even knelt down when the army came. They said everybody should stay here. They didn't attack any security official. And you not disperse them violently. Then the hoodlums took over the next day. There was no ENDSARS protest the next day and in the aftermath. The ENDSARS organizers now left. The breakdown of law and order and the looting that followed are to be held squarely on the federal government and the security agencies.
Now, before I cut you short, yesterday a certain human rights activist called Kenechukwu Okeke filed a criminal complaint before the magistrate court in Abuja, accusing no less than 50 Nigerian youths, including celebrities like Davido, Burna Boy, Don Jazzy, Yemi Alade, one certain Mr. Sam Adeyemi, accusing them of destroying his properties. How do you react to this? Do you think this is actually the best approach?
I want to tell you one thing. I am of the PDP lining. I'm not ashamed about that. But when the President Buhari became the president in 2015, somehow, residually, in my mind, I felt there may be some change, that we won't be seeing some drama. We won't be seeing some of these funny acts because he was touted as a man of integrity, as a man of character and principle. But it's unfortunate that under the President Buhari government, all these dramas are playing out. You see someone's passport because she want to travel, then CBN governor for the first time goes ahead to clamp down on people's accounts. And you see Garba Shehu, the presidential spokesman, defending that. Then you see the phony complaint or the charge filed and the name being bandied. These are unfortunate actions we are seeing, unfortunate incidents, which are not good for our democracy. Please, Clinton, just look at it. One will expect that the ruling party and our leaders will learn some lessons from the ENDSARS protest. That time is coming when the citizens will have enough of their shenanigans, enough of their grandstanding in Abuja. I felt we will learn a vital lesson from what followed after dispersing the ENDSARS protesters. When you disperse the ENDSARS protesters, what happened? Hell was let loose. The destitutes who sleep in the streets now cashing on the fact that the police has refused to be in their duty posts and there was no army, began looting. And that was when you expect the army and the police to come in. They didn't come in. So I should believe that we have learned some lessons. What we should have been doing now is to be putting confidence building measures to get the appropriate message from the youths that enough is enough. If there is anything President Buhari should have been doing in the past 3 months, it should be putting machineries in place to stop election rigging, to ensure for electronic voting, to ensure for quick passage of the amendment of the Electoral Act, which President Buhari has not been able to amend a comma. For 6 years, he came for change. He has not been able to amend a comma. And the buck stops at him. The electoral system is the way it is today because President Buhari likes it, and that's the level of his integrity. He criticized PDP of everything, but he and his party enjoys the benefits of the Electoral Act 2010. They have not seen any reason. President Buhari has not made it a priority to amend the Electoral Act. The last time it was amended and brought for his assent, he said he could not assent because it was few months to election. But President Goodluck Jonathan signed for mandatory card reader in February for card reader to be introduced in March of 2015, just few days before the election. President Buhari refused to assent to Electoral Act amendment in December 2018, over 6 months to the date of election. Until date, he has not summoned courage. He has control of the National Assembly, APC has control of the House and the Senate, and they have not done anything to make the use of card reader mandatory for votes, for accreditation, to make for electronic transmission of results, because they are benefiting from the wrong system they criticized when they said they were coming for change. These are the confidence building measures that I would have expected the president to begin to set up so that the youths will begin to see hope. There is, I don't know when last, the youths of this country came out with their heart and celebrated the October 1st independence of Nigeria.
Okay.
And it doesn't bother our leaders that the failure of patriotism, they should see the Armageddon coming. The ENDSARS is just part one, and in the trajectory they are going, I see it create more problem than it will solve.
Now you have said a lot. Looking at the ENDSARS protests, we know it went beyond police brutality. The youths were demanding for good governance. They were demanding for accountability from the federal government. What is the possible way, do you think, the federal government can arrest the situation and meet up the demands from the youths?
It is very simple. The federal government must act fast to start to build bridges of confidence, to start to be transparent, to start to show accountability, and to give citizens hope that Nigeria can work. Part of it is the restructuring we are talking about of the economy, restructuring of the structure of Nigeria that is not working, electoral reforms,
Okay.
independence of the judiciary should be deepened. There should be a quick dispensation of justice to help. So every resources, every effort should not be spared to give us a system that works. A lot of Nigerians are living in the diaspora because of squeezed opportunities. And they would like to see a nation that is working. That President Buhari's government would have learned some lessons from. But it seems they are living in denial. And the worst for me is yet to come.
Okay, you mentioned about electronic voting system. Um, I want to get your view on this. The INEC chairman came up to say they'll have a test run of electronic voting system in Anambra state governorship election coming up next year. How do you think this process can work to curb electoral malpractices?
You see, the statement of the INEC chairman is ambiguous. So, those are part of the gimmicks. The gimmick where Professor Tahiru Jega told everybody that only card readers will vote for the 2015 presidential election, only for him to come in the middle of the day when most other states had voted through, what do they call it, the form they will fill. He now gave an order down south and said, now you can now vote if the person does not get accredited by the card reader, read by the card
Okay.
reader, he can use the incident form and now vote. You see that gimmick was played on President Goodluck Jonathan. Now you can't tell us that you will use electronic voting when the government which has appointed you for second term
Okay. Hello. Can you hear me, Mr. Kissinger? Okay, we lost Barrister Kissinger Ikoku there. This is where we'll call it a wrap on today's Asperic TV political update. Don't forget to uh, go to our social media platforms, Asperic TV on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. See you next time tomorrow. I remain Clinton of Rome, saying bye for now.
Do not forget to follow us on all our social media platforms.